Bangladesh will ratify UN Convention on Shared Rivers, Advisor Council decides.
বাংলাদেশ এখন সিদ্ধান্ত নিয়েছে 1992 এটাতে বাংলাদেশ অনুস্বাক্ষর করবে এবং বাংলাদেশকে দিয়ে আসলে
Bank Resolution Ordinance approved to bring back discipline in corporate and banking sector. Prof committee framed to put economic criminals under trial. Two U.S. Undersecretaries call on foreign advisor, discuss way to narrow down trade deficits, stress on Rohingya issues. Foreign Secretaries level talks between Bangladesh and Pakistan after 1.5 decades. Pakistan agreed to talk about 1971 financial claims and formal apologies regarding genocide. Foreign Secretary at a press briefing. Referendum will invite complexities, says BNP leader Salahuddin Ahmed after a meeting with Consensus Commission. Elections must follow reform, trial and proper method, emphasizes Jamaat Amir Dr. Shafiqur Rahman. Today with Chief Advisor Professor Muhammad Yunus in the chair. The Council of Advisors also approved 4 ordinances: the Public Accounts Audit Ordinance, the Bank Resolution Ordinance, the Revenue Policy and Revenue Management Ordinance, and the Grameen Bank Amendment Ordinance. The government also decided to constitute a committee to conduct probes and start trial process against those involved in financial crimes in the country. Briefing reporters about the outcomes of the meeting at Foreign Service Academy Environment, Forest and Climate Change Advisor Sayyeda Rizwana Hassan said the committee is going to be formed so that probes could be initiated and trial process could be started against those involved in financial crimes. During the briefing, Chief Advisor's Press Secretary Shafiqul Alam was present. Sayyeda Rizwana Hassan said the Council of Advisors approved in principle to amend some sections of the Code of Civil Procedure 1908 to ease sufferings of plaintiffs and to dispose of cases quickly.
বিচার কার্যক্রম আধুনিকায়ন করতে এটা বলা হচ্ছে যে আমরা সমনজারিটা এখন থেকে টেলিফোনের মাধ্যমে এসএমএস এর মাধ্যমে বা অন্য মডার্ন যে ডিভাইসগুলো আছে মডার্ন যে মেথডগুলো আছে তার মাধ্যমে করতে পারবো ফাঁসিয়ে দেওয়ার জন্য ভুয়া মামলা করা হয় আগে সেটার শাস্তি ছিল 20,000 এখন সেটাকে বাড়িয়ে 50,000 করা হয়েছে বিভিন্ন নদীর পানি ভাগাভাগি নিয়ে পানি ব্যবস্থাপনা নিয়ে আমরা সব সময় বলি যে আমরা আন্তর্জাতিক আইনগুলো কেন স্বাক্ষর করছি না এই অভিন্ন জলরাশির পানি ব্যবস্থাপনা নিয়ে আন্তর্জাতিক ক্ষেত্রে দুটো আইন আছে জাতিসংঘের একটা হচ্ছে 1997 কনভেনশন আরেকটা হচ্ছে 1992 কনভেনশন বাংলাদেশ এখন সিদ্ধান্ত নিয়েছে Convention on the Protection and Use of Transboundary Water Courses and International Lakes 1992 এটাতে বাংলাদেশ অনুস্বাক্ষর করবে এবং বাংলাদেশকে দিয়ে আসলে এশিয়ার দেশগুলোর স্বাক্ষর প্রক্রিয়াটা শুরু হচ্ছে ফিনান্সিয়াল ক্রাইম বা অর্থনৈতিক ক্রাইম যে গোষ্ঠীগুলো করেছেন তাদের বিচার প্রক্রিয়াটা শুরু করার জন্য একটা তদন্ত এবং বিচার প্রক্রিয়া শুরু করার জন্য একটা কমিটি গঠন করা হচ্ছে আগে গ্রামীণ ব্যাংক শুধুমাত্র ভূমিহীনদের জন্য কাজ করত এখন বিত্তহীনদের একটা সংজ্ঞা সংযোজন করা হয়েছে ইউনিয়ন পরিষদের পরিসর থেকে বের হয়ে সিটি কর্পোরেশন পৌরসভাকে অন্তর্ভুক্ত করা হয়েছে পরিশোধিত মূলধন আগে ছিল সরকার 25% আর যারা বেনিফিশিয়ারি তারা 75% এখন হয়ে গেছে 10% এবং 90%.
Chief Advisor Professor Muhammad Yunus has emphasized strengthening relations with Pakistan to boost mutual cooperation and explore trade and business potentials. The Chief Advisor made the emphasis when Pakistani Foreign Secretary Amna Baloch met him at the State Guest House, Jamuna today. The Pakistan Foreign Secretary hoped that the upcoming visit of the country's Deputy Prime Minister Ishaq Dar at the end of April would further boost relations between the two countries. Chief Advisor Professor Yunus said he always preferred closer ties with neighboring countries, including Pakistan, in the framework of SAARC. He said Bangladesh and Pakistan should exchange more youth and cultural programs between the two countries to increase the people-to-people bonding. Senior Secretary on SDG Affairs Lamia Morshed and Pakistan High Commissioner to Bangladesh Syed Ahmed Maruf were among others present. A visiting U.S. delegation called on Chief Advisor Professor Muhammad Yunus at the State Guest House, Jamuna today and expressed support for the reform agenda of the interim government. They also discussed regional issues involving peace, security and development. The U.S. delegation included Deputy Assistant Secretaries of State Nicole A. Chilik and Andrew Harup, Bangladesh's National Security Advisor Dr. Khalilur Rahman and the head of U.S. Mission in Dhaka, Tracy Ann Jacobson, were present at the meeting. The U.S. officials expressed deep appreciation for the generosity of Bangladesh in hosting 1.2 million Rohingyas and thanked the leadership of Chief Advisor Professor Yunus for making progress over the issue of their rehabilitation. The Chief Advisor underlined the excellent bilateral relations between the two countries and reaffirmed the commitment of the interim government to work closely with the Trump administration on the entire range of bilateral relations. Bangladesh has demanded an apology from Pakistan for their role during 1971 and its due financial share. Bangladesh thinks that this is the right time to raise these demands. The meeting between Bangladesh and Pakistan was held at State Guest House Podda in the capital today. After the meeting in the morning, the Pakistani Foreign Secretary Amna Baloch called on Foreign Advisor at the Foreign Ministry. Later, Foreign Secretary Mohammad Jashimuddin briefed about the meeting at a press conference. It was appraised in the meeting that the two countries will further strengthen relations in the days ahead. Direct flight is expected to begin between the two countries soon. Cooperation in the field of education and agriculture sectors also came up in the discussion. The talks between Foreign secretaries also highlighted on the Israeli atrocities in Gaza. About 1.5 decades ago, these demands were placed on behalf of Bangladesh at the Foreign Secretary level meeting. On 27 and 28 of April, the visit of Pakistani Foreign Minister have been fixed. Meanwhile, the two visiting U.S. Assistant Secretary of State has discussed with Foreign Advisor to find ways and means to remove trade deficit. They also emphasize on repatriation of Rohingyas. The NP Standing Committee member Salahuddin Ahmed has said if the future Parliament deems it necessary to hold a referendum, it may take place. However, organizing a referendum at such a large scale will inevitably lead to increased complexity. He said this to the newsman after meeting with the National Consensus Commission at the LD Hall of the Jatiya Sanshad today. Salahuddin Ahmed said that the proposals of 6 reform commissions were discussed. The BNP agrees on many issues related to the republic and governance of the state, including constitutional reform. The BNP delegation, led by Standing Committee member Salahuddin Ahmed, included Standing Committee member Nazrul Islam Khan, Chairperson's Advisory Council member Ismail Zabiullah, and Central member Barrister Ruhul Quddus Kajol. While briefing journalists, Nazrul Islam Khan stated that the BNP is not against reforms and is always working to fulfill the people's aspirations. Meanwhile, prior to the meeting, National Consensus Commission Vice President Dr. Ali Riaz spoke to journalists, expressing a collective commitment to working towards a consensus in line with the nation's expectations. Bangladesh Jamaat Islami Amir Dr. Shafiqur Rahman has said that 3 conditions must be met before the upcoming national election. He made the statement at a press conference held at a hotel in Dhaka today regarding the party's recent visit to the European Union. Dr. Shafiqur Rahman also stated that care must be taken to ensure that the election is not delayed under the pretext of reforms. Jamaat Islami Secretary General Mia Muhammad Ghulam Parwar, Naib-e Amir Dr. Abdullah Muhammad Tahir and other central leaders were present at the press conference. The International Monetary Fund IMF is likely to approve the 4th and the 5th tranches of a $4.7 billion loan for Bangladesh during the IMF World Bank spring meetings in Washington this April. This was disclosed at a briefing hosted by IMF after completion of the visiting IMF review mission's work. An IMF mission led by Chris Papayouriou visited Dhaka from April 6 to 17 to review the country's economic and financial policies. IMF says discussions will continue and if everything goes well, Bangladesh is likely to receive IMF loan in second of June. During this visit, the IMF team members met with Finance Advisor Dr. Salehuddin Ahmed, Bangladesh Bank Governor Ahsan H. Mansoor and NBR Chairman. Today is historic 17th April, a glorious day in the history of Bangladesh. On this day in 1971, the first People's Republic of Bangladesh government took oath of office at Boidonath Tola in Meherpur. On this day, the Declaration of Independence was read out by Professor Yusuf Ali. Sheikh Mujibur Rahman was made president. As he was imprisoning in Pakistani jail, Sayyid Nazrul Islam took over as vice president. Tajuddin Ahmed took oath as prime minister. On the other hand, Captain Mansoor Ali became finance minister, while AHM Kamaruzzaman made relief and rehabilitation minister. Colonel Ataul Goni Osmani appointed as supreme commander of Mukti Bahini. Under the leadership of this government, Bangladesh became independent on 16th of December 1971 after a 9-month bloody war. On the occasion of Mujib Nagar Day, advisor to the Ministry of Liberation War Affairs, Farooq-e-Azam paid tribute to the nation's greatest sons by placing a floral wreath at the Mujib Nagar Memorial. In the morning, he laid the wreath on behalf of the interim government. He also hoisted the national flag at the memorial site. Later, addressing the issue of fake freedom fighters, Farooq-e-Azam stated that the interim government is committed to prepare an accurate list of genuine freedom fighters. Efforts are actively underway in that direction, but the process has encountered delays due to pending court cases. The government is awaiting the court verdicts, with over 2,700 related cases are currently under trial. The final list will be prepared and finalized once those cases are resolved. Regarding the vandalism of sculptures in the Mujib Nagar Amra Kanun, Farooq-e-Azam said that initiatives will be taken to reinstall the sculptures. However, these structures will be built based on historical authenticity. No false narratives will be imposed, nor will true history be erased. Professor Muhammad Yunus, Chief Advisor of Bangladesh's interim government, has been named one of Time magazine's 100 most influential people of 2025. This recognition follows his key role in guiding Bangladesh towards democracy after last year's student uprising. He is also the oldest person to be included on the list. Former U.S. Secretary of State Hillary Rodham Clinton, in a Time tribute, praised Yunus for his leadership during this crucial time. She wrote, "After a student-led uprising toppled Bangladesh's authoritarian prime minister last year, a known leader stepped up to guide the nation towards democracy. Nobel Peace Prize laureate Muhammad Yunus." The article highlighted Yunus's pioneering work with Grameen Bank, which provided microloans to impoverished communities especially women. Clinton said decades earlier Yunus established the Grameen Bank in Bangladesh to empower the most marginalized communities through small loans, helping millions, 97% of them women, build businesses, sustain their families and reclaim their dignity. Alongside Professor Muhammad Yunus, other names in the leaders category included US President Donald Trump, Vice President J.D. Vance, SpaceX founder Elon Musk, British Prime Minister Keir Starmer, Mexican President Claudia Sheinbaum, Argentine President Javier Milei, Syrian President Ahmed al-Sharaa and World Health Organization Director General Tedros Adhanom Ghebreyesus. The Time 100 list honors individuals across the globe for their influence, innovation and leadership. Israeli forces have forced to displace 500,000 Palestinians from Gaza. All those are homeless at the moment, living in open sky. The displaced people are living in humanitarian crisis as the corridor of aid shipment were blocked by Israel. Meanwhile, Israel's defense minister has said troops will remain in so-called security zones they have established by seizing large areas of Gaza even after an end to the war. Israel Quds said the zones would provide a buffer to protect Israeli communities in any temporary or permanent situation, and that tens of percent of the Palestinian territory had been added since the Israeli offensive resumed 3 weeks ago. Israel would continue its 6-week blockade of humanitarian aid to pressure Hamas to release hostages, he said, despite the UN warning of devastating consequences. On Wednesday, Médecins Sans Frontières became the latest international organization to sound alarm at the impact of Israel's campaign, saying that Gaza had been turned into a mass grave of Palestinians and those coming to their assistance. According to Gaza's health ministry, at least 1,691 Palestinians have been killed and 4,464 wounded since the war resumed on 18th of March. Hospital officials said at least 27 Palestinians have been killed in Israeli strikes across Gaza since dawn this morning. China will pay no attention if the United States continues to play the tariff numbers game, China's foreign ministry said on Thursday after the White House outlined how China faces tariffs of up to 245% due to its retaliatory actions. In a fact sheet released on Tuesday, the White House said China's total duties include the latest reciprocal tariff of 125%, a 20% tariff to address the fentanyl crisis, and tariffs of between 7.5% and 100% on specific goods to address unfair trade practices. US President Donald Trump announced additional tariffs on all countries 2 weeks ago before suddenly rolling back higher reciprocal tariffs for dozens of countries while keeping punishing duties on China. Beijing raised its own levies on US goods in response and has not sought talks, which it says can only be conducted on the basis of mutual respect and equality. Meanwhile, many other nations have begun looking at bilateral deals with Washington. Last week, China also filed a new complaint with the World Trade Organization expressing grave concern over US tariffs, accusing Washington of violating the global trade body's rules. China this week unexpectedly appointed a new trade negotiator who would be key in any talks to resolve the escalating tariff war, replacing trade Tessa Wang Shouwen with Li Chenggong, its envoy to the WTO. Washington said Trump was open to making a trade deal with China, but Beijing should make the first move, insisting that China needed our money. Chinese President Xi Jinping arrived in the Cambodian capital Phnom Penh today, capping a 3-stop tour of Southeast Asia, according to live footage from Beijing's state-run CGTN. Xi arrived after visiting Vietnam and Malaysia as Beijing seeks to strengthen regional trade ties and offset the impact of huge tariffs imposed by his US counterpart, Donald Trump. The Chinese leader touched down at the airport in Phnom Penh Thursday, where he was greeted by King Norodom ceremony during a military welcome ceremony. She is scheduled to go to the palace on Thursday afternoon before holding meetings with former leader Hussein and his son Prime Minister Homanet. China is Cambodia's biggest trading partner and source of investment, and more than a third of Cambodia's $11 billion in foreign debt is owed to China, according to the International Monetary Fund. And Phnom Penh is among Beijing's most reliable supporters in Asia. Homanet on Wednesday described Xi's visit as a display of ironclad friendship. In a video posted on Wednesday, he said the two countries had common interests based on the principles of respect for sovereignty, equality and non-interference in internal affairs. He also said China had played a pivotal role in Cambodia's socio-economic development. China and Cambodia this year celebrate 67 years of diplomatic relations, and on Thursday, the kingdom also commemorated 50 years since the fall of Phnom Penh to the Khmer Rouge. Scientists have found new but tentative evidence that a faraway world orbiting another star may be home to life. A Cambridge team studying the atmosphere of a planet called K2-18b has detected signs of molecules which on Earth are only produced by simple organisms. This is the second and more promising time chemicals associated with life have been detected in the planet's atmosphere by NASA's James Webb Space Telescope JWST. But the team and independent astronomers stress that more data is needed to confirm these results. The lead researcher, Professor Nikko Madhushadan, told me at his lab at Cambridge University's Institute of Astronomy that he hopes to obtain the clinching evidence soon. This is the strongest evidence, yet there is possibly life out there. I can realistically say that we can confirm this signal within 1 to 2 years. K2-18b is 2.5 times the size of Earth and is 700 trillion miles or 124 light years away from us, a distance far beyond what any human could travel in a lifetime. JWST is so powerful that it can analyze the chemical composition of the planet's atmosphere from the light that passes through from the small red sun it orbits. In last 2 months, the army brought under control 232 different types of chaotic incidents. Colonel Staff of Army Headquarters, Military Operations Directorate, Colonel Muhammad Shafiqul Islam said these at the press briefing in Dhaka Cantonment Officers' Mess today. He said, in order to maintain law and order in the country, the army has so far arrested a total of 7,822 people, including 2,457 in the last 2 months in a coordinated initiative with all law enforcing agencies. In continuation of this, during the last 2 months, the army so far recovered a total of 9,370 illegal arms and 2,85,052 rounds of ammunition, including 320 illegal arms and 564 rounds of ammunition. Side by side, maintaining law and order, the army has so far arranged treatment of 4,340 people to CMH who were injured during anti-discrimination student movement. Besides, the army took utmost security measures across the country for smooth holding of Pohila Boishakh, and as a result, people from all walks of life were able to celebrate the Bangla New Year in a joyful mood. The army was also engaged in maintaining communal harmony and ensuring overall security to foreign diplomats and embassies. The briefing was apprised that during the visit of the UN Secretary General to Bangladesh, the army has been widely appreciated by all quarters for providing foolproof security, completing the additional activities related to the visit, as well as properly distributing iftar for more than 1 lakh Rohingyas under the supervision of army. The army took a 2-week special program before and after Eid to ensure maximum security to the homebound people and disciplined traffic movement. State reform is impossible without democracy and people's voting rights, BNP leader Ruhul Kabir Rizvi said at a discussion and Dua Mahfil organized marking enforced disappearance of BNP leader M. Ilyas Ali at BNP office premises at Kakrail. Rizvi requested the interim government not to grab people's voting rights by procrastinating in the name of doing reform. BNP leader Mir Sharafat Ali Sofu, Khairul Kobir Khokon, Tahsina Rushdie Luna, wife of M. Elias Ali, and senior BNP leaders were present on the occasion. Moving on to news on sports. Bangladesh women's crashed into a 3-wicket defeat to West Indies in the ICC Women's ODI World Cup qualifiers at Lahore today. Opting to bat first, Bangladesh scored 227 runs for the loss of 9 wickets in 50 overs. Opener Farzana Haq Pinky scored 42 runs and Sharmina Akhtar Shukta scored 67 runs for Bangladesh. West Indies cruised to victory, scoring 228 runs, losing 7 wickets with 4 overs to spare. Bangladesh tasted its first defeat in 4 matches. However, Bangladesh is still atop the points table with 6 points. Bangladesh will face host Pakistan in the last match on Saturday. Pakistan, who has played 3 matches, also have 6 points. Meanwhile, after today's win against Bangladesh, West Indies are at the 4th place with 4 points. Their opponent in the last match is Thailand. If West Indies win this match and Bangladesh loses to Pakistan, the net run rate will be the deciding factor between the two teams. Abahoni Limited, legends of Rupganj and Gulshan Cricket Club won in the Super League stage of Dhaka Premier Division cricket today. Abahoni Limited defeated Agrani Bank Cricket Club by 4 wickets in the Duckworth-Lewis method at BKSB ground number 3. Agrani Bank batted first and scored 109 runs for 3 wickets in 24 overs and 4 balls, but the length of the match was reduced to 22 overs due to rain. Abahoni's target for victory was 157 runs. Abahoni reached the target with 6 wickets in 19 overs and 2 balls. Legends of Rupganj defeated Mohammedan Sporting Club by 9 wickets at the Mirpur Shere-Bangla National Cricket Stadium. Mohammedan scored 117 runs for 7 wickets in 29 overs and 4 balls, but the length of the match was reduced to 22 overs due to rain. Legends of Rupganj's target was 93 runs. Legends of Rupganj surpassed it with just 1 wicket in 13 overs and 2 balls. Gulshan Cricket Club defeated Ghazi Group cricketers by 3 wickets via Duckworth-Lewis method at BKSP ground number 4. Electing to bat first, Ghazi Group cricketers scored 110 runs for 3 wickets in 23 overs and 3 balls when rain intervened. Gulshan's target was 162 runs in 22 overs. Gulshan Cricket Club crossed the target with 7 wickets with 2 balls remaining. To end the bulletin, headlines once again. Bangladesh will ratify UN Convention on Shared Rivers, Advisors Council decides. Bank Resolution Ordinance approved to bring back discipline in corporate and banking sector. Prof committee framed to put economic criminals under trial. Two U.S. Undersecretaries call on foreign advisor discuss way to narrow down trade deficits, stress on Rohingya issues. Foreign secretaries level talks between Bangladesh and Pakistan after 1.5 decades. Pakistan agreed to talk about 1971 financial claims and formal apologies regarding genocide. Foreign Secretary at a press briefing. Future parliaments may hold confidence referendum, but organizing a large-scale referendum will invite complexities, says BNP leader Salahuddin Ahmed after a meeting with Consensus Commission. Elections must follow reform, trial and proper method, emphasizes Jamaat Amir Dr. Shafiqur Rahman. Israel displaced 5 lakh people from Gaza. Israeli soldiers will stay in Gaza even after end of war, Tel Aviv announces. And And Bangladesh loses to West Indies by 3 wickets in the ICC Women's World Cup qualifiers at Lahore. And that's all from the newsroom for the moment. Thank you for staying with us, and we invite